I asked 9 nurses what job they wanted, and not one could give me an answer. The promise of more money, more flexibility, more opportunity. But lately, that has not been the trend at all. My name is Brianna. I am your nurse career strategist, nurse innovator, and dream facilitator, and I help nurses transition from the bedside without not necessarily going back to school to get another degree. I talked to 9 nurses in the past few months, and they knew where they wanted to leave, what they were running from, but not necessarily what they were running towards. And this is a vocabulary gap that I had as a nurse who was at the bedside, trying to leave the bedside, and didn't necessarily know how to articulate where I wanted to be. This is not because we don't have the knowledge, but of how the system is set up when it comes to our education. Obviously, when we go to nursing school, we are trained to be a nurse in the most traditional sense, in the hospital and at the bedside. It is not until we get an advanced degree that we kind of are able to articulate and see where we could go with this education degree, or this nurse anesthetist degree, or becoming a nurse practitioner or a DNP. Right? The promise of more money, more flexibility, more opportunity. But lately, that has not been the trend at all. I recently talked to a nurse practitioner who states that she doesn't even make as much money as the traditional nurse or the traditional RN. So, in this episode, we are going to add to our vocabulary. I want to share with you some nursing titles that are common in the non-traditional world, so you can have an idea of what to research, what to look for, and how to plan your next move in nursing. So let's start with some job titles that I literally opened up on my computer today, looked at some old emails of job notifications that were sent to me, combed through LinkedIn as well, and found these job titles in about 15 minutes. Clinical Quality Management Specialist, RN Quality Assurance Coordinator, RN Value Analysis Coordinator, RN Super User, Clinical Informatics Specialist, Clinical Informaticist Virtual Support, Nursing Informatics Specialist, Clinical Systems Analyst, Clinical Nurse Practice Specialist, Clinical Development Specialist, Clinical Care Transition Educator, Nursing Professional Development Practitioner, Clinical Educator, Clinical Care Transition Specialist, RN Field Coordinator, Clinical Research Nurse. These are just a handful of various types of titles nurses can work underneath with still using their nursing degree, and are not always at the top of mind when searching and navigating this world after transitioning from the bedside. Here are 3 questions you can ask yourself today to start to be able to identify which one of these roles might suit your interests. What parts of nursing do you actually enjoy? Not just what you're good at, but what you enjoy doing. What parts of nursing do you actually want to stop doing entirely? And what do you want your day-to-day to look like? I would encourage you to take the Nursing Next Navigator. This is an assessment that I created that helps to fill this vocabulary gap so that nurses can identify a starting point and start to walk self-aware through their journey after the bedside to their next position. After you take that assessment, you'll be plugged into my ongoing content and get access to strategy sessions where I actively help nurses and tailor their unique experiences from where they are to where they want to be. That's all I have in this episode. I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.